Hey there, this is me, Marvin. And I just finished watching Spur of the Moment, which is an episode of the Twilight Zone. The description is an engaged heiress is terrorized by a middle-aged woman on a horse pleading with her not to go through with her impending marriage. It's really interesting because there's a little twist in there. Basically, you have this woman, young woman, 18, 19 years old, whatnot, and she's about to get engaged. When she's engaged, get married to this investment banker, and she's like an heiress. So her everything is already provided for her. She's lived a nice life. Never have to work for anything. Everything was always given to her. And so she's out riding one morning or afternoon or whatever, and in the distance she sees this woman on top of a hill, all in black, and this woman starts chasing her. And she's scared. She's like, you don't know who this woman is. And as you get closer and closer on the camera, you're like, wait, that woman looks like her, except she looks older, And so, and it is her, actually. So she goes back to her house, and she freaks out. She tells her parents, hey, the woman was chasing me. And she's like, she wanted to kill me. She had this look of terror in her eyes and whatnot. And so, and her fiance tries to calm her down and whatnot. And then somewhere through the rest of this, all of a sudden the doorbell rings, and it's this other guy who really, really likes her, who also wants to marry her. But everyone in the family's kind of like, we don't want him here, whatever, cool. And he basically just wants some time to speak with her, just to kind of like ask her again, you can take me, you can have me, just let me know, I need an answer. And so she doesn't really give him an answer. He's like, just tell me that you don't love me, and then I'll leave. And he doesn't really answer it. So eventually his time is up, and they make him get off the premises. Well, she takes a nap or whatever, and they flash into another scene where they're in the same house, but she's older, like 40 something at this point, and she's the lady that was on the black horse, like we thought she was. And it's her life at that point. And she comes home, and come to find that now the estate that her father built up, that was so profitable and so wealthy, is now about to be taken from her. She's older, she's bitter, she's cynical, not happy with her life at all. And she's thinking about mistakes that were made, and just regretting how her life was, that she never had to work for anything or had to try to earn anything, because now she has no real skills, and she's older, and her house is about to get taken away from her. Her mom's still alive. Her mom's like, respect your father, and she's very just kind of like whatever about life at this point. And so at some point she brings up the fact that she saw a ghost, which happened to be her younger self, who she was chasing, and she was like, if I could tell that person basically that not to go through that marriage. And it makes you think that it's the investment banker, the one that she's engaged with, that's the one that ruined her life, whatever, cool. But that's one thing I say, I'm probably gonna get made fun of. But the twist is, it's not him, it's the other guy that ruined her life. So you kind of find she actually did decide to go ahead and marry the other guy that want to interrupted that engagement to the investment banker. And now it's 40 years later, 25 years later, and the estate's about to be gone, and she's with this man that has done really nothing good for her in the long run, and all because she thought she was really, really in love with this person, and she wasn't able to decipher, qualities that you need to have for a long-term relationship versus something that just feels good. And so, and that was like the biggest twist. Cause like, you would think it was gonna be the investment banker guy, cause it seemed like, oh yeah, he was, he probably like, seedy or something, hidden, hiding her just so he can marry her for the money or whatever. And so to find out it's the ordinary Joe, and that was the most surprising part. And basically the whole premise or the whole moral or the whole point of the story was, no matter how hard you try, you can't change the past. We try to go back and change things a lot of times in our lives, and we wish we could. We think about them all the time, like, what happened if I would have done this? And we try to like mentally go back and change these things, but you can't. Once they're set there, you're basically chasing a circle. You're chasing yourself, trying to correct something that you can't change. And so rejection is a good lesson because it makes you realize, there's no need to be stuck in the past. Like, okay, this was like this should have been like this way. Maybe if I try to do it now, I can correct it. Those things have happened, and good or bad, they've happened. And now it's really up to us to work in the future or work in the present to make a better future for ourselves. I think we constantly need to be reminded, because I think a lot of times people are just haunted by their mistakes that they've made, things they've done, a year ago, a decade ago, 2 decades ago. As you get older, you build up more and more history. So, so many things you just look back, you're like, man, I wish I hadn't done that, or I wish I would have done something different. You could have always done something different, but it just didn't work out like that. And so you have to work with the present. That is very important. You can't try to constantly go back to the past. The past is good. The past is good to visit, but not to stay. That's basically what the past is there for. And so, we just basically working towards a better future. So I thought that was interesting. I always love the Twilight Zone because it always makes you think a little bit about life and how things operate and what something means. What's the real message behind something? Which I always appreciate. And it always does it in a very classy way. It's a little sophisticated and smart, and I feel smart for watching it. So this is me, Marvin.